Hey, welcome back for I think this is part two. We're going to, or maybe it's part three. I did add the wire to the back of the sign as a separate video just because I thought it was a really cool, just really short, quick video that is also in our YouTube channel. All I did was I beefed up the back of that sign a little bit and added some wire. Some tips in that other video if you want to check it out. So this, I believe, is technically part three. We're going to add the sign to the wreath, and we're going to add some three focal pieces and some ribbon in a very different way. So I'm excited to get this to you. I'm excited to start. Funny enough, we're actually not going to start with the sign. I'm actually going to start with our our secondary focal piece, so not the sign, but something really, really cool. And it is these beautiful poinsettias. I love them. They're gorgeous. They are kind of just shimmery with a gold, what is it called? Glitter. Couldn't think of my words. And has the blue right in the center, kind of like a nutcrackery theme, but very much matching our sign here. So I believe this is going to be a gorgeous wreath. I'm really excited to see how it turns out. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the stem. The supply box did have two of these poinsettias in each. And what I'm going to do is now the base was part one where we added the pine stems and we added the mesh. So that is part one. That video is available. Part two, of course, was preparing the sign. And now part three, we're going to add the sign, we're going to add the poinsettias, and we're going to add some ribbon. It's going to be beautiful. And I believe we might be able to stop after that, but there will be, I'm so sorry, another part to this video where we're adding all sorts of fun stuff. And at the end of this part, I will show you everything we're going to be adding in. Okay, so I'm going to go right down in here, and I'm going to take this part and go right down. I don't want it kind of on the top for this specific design. I do want it snuggled down in there. So I'm going to go all the way under and nice and tight. Now, if you felt the need to add some glue at this point, you totally could. I think we're going to be good without it. And I am going to move those ties out to the outside just in case I want to add some ribbon to that outside. So we're going to add in one. We're going to skip one. We're going to go to this one over here. So we're going to add in three. I'm going to cut off the excess here that we don't need. So that would have been perfect if I was adding it in a tree or a grapevine where that longer piece would have been a little bit more necessary. Don't need it, so I'm just going to cut it off so I don't have to worry about moving it around. So again, right down in there, nice and tight. If you felt the need to add a little bit of glue, again, go right ahead. I don't feel the need to, but I am going to move those to the outside in case I want to add some ribbon. Skip another one, going right in here. Now, you know we work with threes. I just so happen, because I knew the September box was going to be incredible, I just so happen, actually I always get two boxes, but I get two supply boxes. The supply box came with two poinsettias, so I pulled one from that other box, which kind of, in this case, worked out really nice because working in threes, very beneficial when you're a designer. Again, nice and tight, and then bringing that out to the outside. Now, I'm confident with how tight they are, so I'm not going to necessarily add some glue, especially at this point. I may down the road, maybe, but not right now. Then I'm going to add in our sign. So I wanted to add in our poinsettias first so that I can kind of place our sign right where right in the right spot. I didn't quite want it to be this way. I just wanted it to be a little bit off. There we go. I didn't want that to be right in the center. Perfect. I think we're good right here. And then we can play with those a little bit. So I'm going to go in and take that wire that we attached to the back of that sign and just wire it right through. And I'll snuggle it down in, but I'm not going to make it super tight, but I will snuggle it down in so that it's not really just floating there. I don't want it to be shifting. I want it to be tight enough where it's not, you know, moving. So notice I haven't put any ribbon in just yet. We will in just a minute. I am tying that along the back of the frame, and I'll flip it over just really quick so you can see what I did. Getting that, of course, nice and tight along the back. And then just putting that wire up underneath so I don't have to worry about it. And then this one right in here. Perfection. I love this. So we get a supply box every month. It's a mystery, so it could be anything. Last month it was kind of football fall themed. There were these beautiful glittery footballs. That wreath that I made already sold, so I know that it was a good one. And so this is just really fun. It's a really fun just a really fun supply box to get every month, number one. Number two, the price is insane for what you pay versus what the retail is. So really good. The folks who do the supply box, you know, they're ordering hundreds or thousands of each of these supplies. And so they get a really good deal, and it's nice that they kind of pass that along to us. So I'm going to open these up so I can definitely see that the blue in there. And make them all very dimensional. I'm going to go around to this one, do the same thing. Now, I don't obviously want to hide that Christmas, that sign, but I do want it to kind of come over just a little bit. Doesn't have to be too crazy much, but just a little bit so that it all looks like it is part of the design. Love, love, love. Okay, those are pretty big, right? Those are pretty big. So I do want some pretty big counterparts to balance this, because right now those are gigantic. All right. So so that you can see what I'm doing, let's work on the outside first so that you can see a little bit. Because once I start working on the inside, you won't be able to see what I'm doing out here. So I did take 16-inch, so a little different than what I normally do. Again, and in addition to the step that we're doing right now with the poinsettias and all the ribbon, I do have a pile of stuff that I'm going to add in also. So I know that this wreath is going to come out a little bit further past the sight line, which right now the sight line is right here, right? It's going to come out past. So I did want my ribbons to be also kind of coming out past. And so here I am going to put in all of the outside ties. So here there were 6 ties along the inside. If you watched the base video, you saw that there was 12 total. 6 on the outside, 6 on the inside. So I'm going to work on all 6 on the outside, putting this right there in the tie, spreading those apart. Again, 16 inches on this. I did want them to come out on purpose and give us a little length. Okay, spread us out a little bit more. I did also put the plaid on the top. If you know me, follow me. Plaid is my #1 favorite. And so, oopsie, that's the one thing I wanted to see. Of course, we have some alarms going off. Hopefully it's still recording. And so I put the plaid on the top because that's my #1 favorite. And so I encourage you, find a favorite, whatever your favorite pattern is, or if it's for a customer, because you see in this case you are seeing that ribbon just a little more. You are seeing the ribbon just a little bit more. The top ribbon just a little bit more than the bottom, because it does cover it just a little bit. So again, we have 16 inches. Y'all, if you hear me talk about our creative coaching group, I teach in that group just like I'm teaching right now, which I usually do not teach this sort of style on any other platform other than the group. But it is getting to be Christmas time, and I do want you guys to be able to use our pancake frame for big and little. It is not just for small, thin wreaths. As you can see here, we are growing in size. And so I just wanted to give you a good starter for the season. But when I am teaching inside the group, I'm teaching just like this so that everyone can follow along and really understand. I mean, it's of course it's the how, but it's really the why. Why I'm doing this. Like why I made them 16 inches, right? If I just said they were 16 inches, you'd be like, oh, okay. But understanding the why will help you in the future when you're designing. Okay, love how gorgeous this is turning out. Even bigger than, sorry, don't mind my mess here, of course, it's a disaster all around. But even bigger than the original. Right now we're sitting at about 27 inches wide. So the whole thing is going to expand considerably. All right, so still working on that outside. I am going to add in another layer. So I'm going to add in, this is a 27 inches roughly. I'm going to grab about 8 inches and then make a loop and twist so that both of those are coming up to the top. I want both, pretty sides to be coming up to the top. And I'm going to put that right in there, right in the top. And then we have one more coming in. So we're going to make sure we spread that out. And we'll fluff that in just a second. We're going to continue on with this one. Roughly 8 inches, making that loop perfect. Really just folding it in half. You're folding it in half and finding a loop that is a little bit shorter than the tail. So you want the tails to be just a little bit longer than, the loop you have going on. Okay, so again, I'm not going crazy. We'll fluff this in just a minute when we add our next ribbon to this ensemble here. Again, notice I'm only working on the outside, leaving that inside kind of bare, but we're going to get to it. Okay, so nice and tight. Twist that back ribbon. So you want to twist that back ribbon so that it is twisting, kind of behind itself. So I'm making that loop, right? So here's my loop. I'm going, this is a little bit shorter than this because here's my loop. I'm going to pinch, and I want that back ribbon. You're going to pull it apart, and then don't go over like this. All you're going to do is twist it from behind. Okay? Just twist the ribbon itself. Don't go over something. Just twist the ribbon itself. All right? I'm going to go in. Making all of these. Again, we'll fluff that in a second. I am leaving it out like that on purpose because we are putting in another ribbon. I hope this video so far has been helpful. I hope the series has been helpful. I hope it is nice bite-sized pieces for you to consume and be able to go back to. Okay, I love this. It's so pretty. I was nervous on this because this one might look black. It is a navy blue. This one is a navy blue. Okay, and then I left them just like that because we're going to go right in with this was also, so this ribbon was in the supply box. This ribbon was in the supply box. I just added a little bit of other ribbon to it. Again, I'm doing that same thing with this ribbon and adding in to the top. And then after this, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be done. So I'm going to make sure I kind of fluff those and bring those out. Kind of let in them. Really kind of show off and do their thing and expand. So same thing, this was also 27 inches roughly. I'm making the loop just a little bit shorter than the tails. Pinch, twist that back loop, I'm sorry, back ribbon, and put them right in there. So yes, these are sticking out. But don't forget, we have lots of other stuff that I do intend to put in this. This is gorgeous. I'm in love. I've been raving about the September box since I got my little eyeballs on it in August. It's gorgeous. It's not, so the supply boxes aren't necessarily a kit. It isn't, you know, everything in the box will make one wreath. That's not the intention of it. It's just meant to be some inspiration pieces. A lot of them coordinate. Sometimes the box is split where half the box coordinates with half the box, and so on and so forth. This is just beautiful. So pretty. I did pre-cut these just to make this video go a little bit quicker. Now, after this is in, I did add some gold out there on the outside to lighten it up a little bit. I don't want the wreath as a whole to be too dark, right? So I did lighten those up a little bit on the outside with that nice, really pretty gold. Oops, that's the wrong way. Again, picking up the gold from the sign, picking up the gold from the poinsettias. Love, love. Okay, and then also pay attention. I did, when I put those loops in, I did make sure that the gold was always on the right and the navy was always on the left. Again, keeping a pattern so that it's easy to see as you go along. But look how beautiful that already looks. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then now we still have those spots here that we do want to make sure we're filling. So I did another one of the ribbons that came in the supply box. Beautiful. Love. And so I'm going to use that to make a nice big bow here. Not too crazy. You know, I'm not putting anything else in this ribbon. I don't want to distract from the beauty of it. So we're going to put that in there right in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dovetail the end. So I cut on the fold up towards the edge so that I have a nice pretty finished look here. And then I'm going to take roughly 9 inches. And then our tail, I did cut these so it would be a little bit easier to work with. The tail is about 9 inches. The loop is going to be about 7.5. Where's my thingy here? About 7.5. And then I'm going to pinch. Now, the only thing about 4-inch ribbon is it's a little bit thicker. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be nervous. It's just a little bit thicker. That's all. Pull that apart so that you can get that back ribbon. Again, we're going to twist. Make my next loop. Make it look about the same. And pinch. Grab everything back there. Pinch. And then twist. Okay, that's a little bit long. We'll cut that. So all I'm going to do, oops, I just flip it around so I can have the short side. All I'm going to do is just put it right up in here in that center, you know, so we had 3 of those. Now we're going to have 3 of these. Just making a nice big statement in here. Letting it do its job. I'm pretty sure, although I'm not positive, I'm pretty sure we're not going to add anything else to that. So I'm just going to let that come on out. Right off the edge here. Beautiful. So you see how that is just filling in, bringing that gold up to the top, really pretty, highlighting all the colors that we did, or complementing all the colors that we did put in the outside, but bringing them up to the center. Gorgeous. Now I am going to say, after we put this in, you could truly and absolutely, you could be done. This is gorgeous just the way it is. Really, truly. We are going to add some fun in the next video, in the next segment, just so that you can see how you might level that up. Again, 9 inches on that tail and 7.5 inches on that loop. Nice and big because, number one, I wanted to kind of match, not match, but balance with our great big giant poinsettias, number one. Number two, you don't want the loops to get sunken down in where you don't see them, you don't notice them, or they look like, oh yeah, what happened to those, right? So we want them to be nice and big. Pinch, twisting this back here and bringing that out. So I'm going to put that, the longer part again is going to come out towards the outside. I'm going to go right in up here. And the ties are kind of right underneath, so I'm going to go right under. Again, I'm not letting it kind of just float in there. I am getting it, pulling it in so that it is nice and tight. I'm not just going to let it, you know, stay in and be movable. I do want it to go all the way down to that pipe cleaner. Again, cutting that edge, nice and pretty. And then this one's already cut. I'm going to move this one and kind of pull it in just like this. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Last one. Again, I do get 2 of those boxes. I realized that I wouldn't be able to give this look without the 3 poinsettias, you know, to be exact. But sometimes they do have extras as far as supplies. Sometimes, not all the time. And so, you know, you could purchase another of what you needed more of. But again, just because I know so many things in the boxes are exclusives, the coaches are creating and designing, and so I like to just make sure I kind of have enough, and so I get 2 boxes. One is the max box, which has a bunch of extra goodies, and then one is the standard box. But the standard box this time did have 2 of the poinsettias and this ribbon and the mesh. It had all the things that were kind of I don't want to say important part, but all the meat of it is definitely in the standard box. Love this so much. It is gorgeous. Now, of course, that blue, red, and green kind of has that nutcracker feel. There was another sign in the box that would definitely coordinate. This is just absolutely beautiful. Holy guacamole. So I want to give you a good close-up up here of what it really looks like up close. So gorgeous. Full. Now, this is just ribbon, y'all. This is not even all the extra stuff that I really want to put in, quite honestly. And I don't know if I've ever said this, it really doesn't need it. It's gorgeous just like this. The back, nice and clean, very simple. This is where we attach the sign. And each of the bows went into the twist ties themselves. So there wasn't any extra attachments other than that sign, which is perfect. And it is gorgeous. I hope that you are enjoying this series. I hope that you are enjoying the tutorial. I hope it's helpful. I'd love to know in the comments that this is helpful. I'm not just, you know, doing this for no reason. It is helping you, and you do want to see more of these videos. I would love to help serve you and go forward. I hope you're following us in all the spots and all the places. This is just gorgeous. So, again, it's Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. I am here on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all the places. Thank you very much for joining. I hope that you join the next video to add. Oh, I'm going to show you what this is. What we're going to add here. What I intended to add. I don't know if I'm going to add all of this, but look at all these beautiful things. So this also came in the supply box, which we are for sure going to add. This came in the supply box. So 2 came in the standard of the gold. One of these came in the standard, so I am going to pull from my second box. Look at these beautiful magnolias. We're just going to make this wreath the best, biggest there absolutely positively is. And we're going to add in some blue. This is also included. So the green magnolias were in the box. This blue glitter stem was in the box. The smaller version of the blue was in the box. And then 2 of these were definitely in the box. I might leave these out. I really do. I might leave these out, which I intended to put them in, but after all the ribbon is in, it just looks so pretty. So that'll be in the next step. And you'll get to really see, like we just talked about, kind of how I'm like, maybe this, I'll just talk it through and say why I would, if I leave that part out, or if I leave something out, why I wouldn't. So you kind of get a good feel for the why. Again, the why is my, claim to fame. You got to know the why, so it helps you with your designing. Y'all, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for following.